How important is a personal brand today?
In the world of business, your reputation is everything.
Yeah.
The problem is online now, you can fake so much. What you end up doing is you convince the people that aren't crucial, but the people that are crucial see right through.
100%. Tell me some of the clients you've worked with.
Julian Hearn of Fuel, Oliver Cookson, John Amici. But the highest profile person we work with is Gary Neville. And the first time we sat down, he said, I want my career to look like this. Steve was the same. And it's like they know what they want. They know how to get there. They just need the right people around them to help make it possible. He got onto Dragon's Den. And it's because of that whole idea of like...
Show your personality.
So the company is called Great Influence. I'm very insistent on this with everyone that we work with. I can't say it for you. The best people in what I do are really good at being themselves.
People buy into characters. People buy into people. People love people, right? How many people have you seen on Instagram portraying something they are not?
I think there's two things. One is like people have a problem with the word personal brand.
Yes.
And then the other thing is that people don't think about...
Ash, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Let's start off with, who is Ash Jones and what has been your biggest achievement in business so far?
Who is Ash Jones is a very, very big question to start off with. I'll keep it simple. I'm 37. I'm from Manchester and I'm a Man City fan. I love music. I play the guitar. I write songs, and I ended up in the world of business about 13 years ago now. And yeah, there's a bit, we'll get into it, but there's a bit of a before and after of those moments. But yeah, I've always been a bit of a creative guy, and I'm a bit of a people's person. And my biggest achievement in business is just still being here. Yeah. Like the business turns 7 in the next couple of weeks, and I feel like getting past the 5-year mark is a bit of an achievement in itself. And we're starting to get to that phase now where businesses who were like competitors of ours are disappearing now. Yeah. So just being around is kind of still an achievement at this point.
It's a great achievement, mate.
Yeah.
7 years still in business. Not a lot of people can say that.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not an easy thing, is it? You'll know firsthand how difficult it can be once you get... The first few years are a bit honeymoon.
And chaos.
Yeah, all the chaos. But then there is a moment, I feel, where the first couple of years you're just kind of like riding a wave, and the wave goes for you at times. And then I feel like once you get to year 5, 6, 7, it's about, are you actually good at what you do, or were you just a bit right place, right time for a while? So yeah, I feel like getting to the 7-year mark is a bit indicative of, I think we might be
onto something.
Yeah, and we might be good at what we do, maybe.
Well, you're a very humble guy. I know you're very good at what you do. Just let the listeners know what your company's called and what it actually does.
So the company is called Great Influence.
Great name, by the way. Love that name.
I've no idea how I came up with it, which I've come up with a few good lines or names, and I always remember them apart from that one, which is really annoying because I'd like to know what was going on. But yeah, we're a personal branding agency, and we help founders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and senior leaders to figure out the whole piece around how do they raise their profile to help grow their businesses, essentially. A lot of it is, I'd say, like a bit of a modern thing now, with like social media and content becoming such an integral part of how people grow businesses. And we've kind of ridden the wave of that happening. So yeah, that's a snapshot of what we do for people. Well,
I think when I'm looking in, I think you're way ahead of your time, number one, to jump on this 7 years ago, because really, I think when you and I first spoke was in the pandemic.
Yeah.
And you were saying, Dodge, why are you not doing a personal brand? And I was like, I felt really uncomfortable with this whole personal brand thing. You're like, mate, just do it. And I was really uncomfortable to do it because I was always behind the business.
Yeah.
And as soon as I put myself in front of the business and created a personal brand, whatever you want to call it, just being real, the businesses have flown. And it really goes to show that that model does work if you are the front man of your business and let people know your personality and your character.
Yeah. I think it depends on the person, and it depends on the business. But I think now you're seeing people a lot more get on board with the idea of kind of being the face of the business. I just think it's a very un-British thing.
Yes.
And we've had to kind of like, it's taken a little bit longer for British people to get on board with the idea of putting themselves out there. But it's definitely like, now we're 7 years in and something's happening now where it's like, okay, people, I think you're right. We were maybe a bit, not too early, as I don't think you can be too early. It just gives you time to figure things out. But it's definitely starting to ramp up in momentum now, like the whole personal brand piece. And it came off the back of, so I think, I wasn't early to it. I was working with Steve Bartlett. And I think he was super, super early to the idea. And it came from, we were looking at like, you had like Gary Vaynerchuk in the US at the time, and he was doing a daily vlog, and we were running Social Chain, and we were thinking like, how do we promote Social Chain? And looking at what he was doing over there and being like, there's nothing like this over here. Which sounds a bit strange to say now, the idea of a founder like putting their face to it on social, but it just wasn't happening then in 2015, 16. So I think we were just ahead of the curve of something, and now it's becoming quite a like commonplace thing in business, which is good for great influence.
So roll back 7 years before we go into you and Stephen were working closely together. What was the point when you said, right, I need to leave and go off and do my own thing and create up social, your own business, the Great Influence?
I just felt like I needed something different.
Something of your own?
That was never the plan.
Okay.
I never expected to like start a business, be a founder, be an entrepreneur, however you want to put it. That was never the idea. And actually, the one thing I remember about having the conversation, I was in a car once with Steve, and he was like, do you think you'd ever start a business? And my response was, I wouldn't know how to get £1 off someone. Yeah. So there was always a thing of like, I just wouldn't know how to do that. So where do you even start? And I think entrepreneurship, in my experience, there's two types of entrepreneur. One is the person who kind of has it as an idea. Yeah. And they're like, I'm going to do something. I don't know what the business is, but I'm going to go down that path and figure it out. And they start a business by doing that. Or you get the other type where it's like, they're good at something. And because they're good at that thing, it ends up in them starting a business. Yeah. And that was kind of like my path into it. Is I wasn't good at it at the time. I was interested in the idea of personal branding. I'd done it for Steve for a few years. And then I thought, well, I want to continue doing that work. And the only way that I could continue doing that work was to start my own thing. Yeah,
good for you.
So
who triggered who then for this personal brand? Did Steve trigger you, or did you trigger Steve to create a personal brand back in the 16, 17, 18, 19?
Yeah. So I met him in 2012 and he just dropped out of university at the time, and I was unemployed at the time. I was on job seekers allowance, and I just agreed to go to university as my mum was she sat me down and had a conversation with me. I was 24, 25. And she was like, please do something. So as mums do, yeah, please do something. And I said, okay, I'll do something. And then I saw a video on Man City's Twitter page at the time of like the social media team, and I thought, oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. So I signed up to do a marketing degree, and I thought that when I finished, it was going to be 3-4 years. I had to do 4 years because I didn't have any qualifications, so I had to do an extra one before going into uni. And I thought, I'm going to be 28 when this finishes. I'm going to need something else other than just a degree. So I had an idea of trying to find something else, and then I met Steve very randomly at an event, and it was just good timing. Yeah. Like, he was right at the beginning of his business journey, so to speak. He was 18, he just dropped out of uni. A friend of ours said, oh, Steve's starting a business and you're looking to do business, so kind of introed us. And then I dropped him a message afterwards on Facebook just saying, like, I've heard networking is important, so this is me networking, like, hi. And yeah, he got back to me, and then I went round to his, and if anyone's heard his story, he speaks about like being in Moss Side with like his laptop was held together by sellotape and all this kind of stuff. And he showed me this idea that he had for a business, which at the time was a student notice board, taking the student notice board online. It was called Wallpark. And yeah, he showed me that. And I was like, well, I'm at university for the next 3 years. So if you want someone to work with you on this stuff, I'd love to. And started working with him then. And that startup lasted maybe like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then at that startup, the idea for the agency that came afterwards, Social Chain, kind of materialized in that moment. And he met Don McGregor during that time. Yeah. And yeah, it was a bit of a conversation. It wasn't really like one of us triggered the other, so to speak. He did this speaking thing in 2013 maybe, and I went and watched it, and I said, like, you should put something like that on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it was just a bit of a conversation like, oh, you should do a YouTube channel, but there was no purpose to why he would. And then Social Chain came around, and there was a purpose all of a sudden. As it was like, well, it'll help us get business. Yeah. So yeah, it just became a bit of a side project where we'd wait until everyone, like, the working day was done, and we'd go into the office. I'd meet him in the office at like midnight, and we'd film some videos until like 2-3 in the morning, and then we'd put them on Facebook, and we just repeated that process for a few months. And then the videos started to pick up a little traction, and we started to think, right, okay, there might be something in this. Yeah. But it was still very much like a
test, see what happens.
Yeah.
Side project.
Yeah, on the side of Social Chain. Yeah. And we were just doing it late at night. And then it started to get a bit of traction. It was like, right, okay, maybe this could help Social Chain in terms of like marketing the agency and getting our name out there. So then that became my full-time job, as I was actually I was marketing Social Chain before that.
Yeah.
I was the marketing director for the agency. And then my role changed into building Steve's personal brand. And yeah, we started everything from zero.
Brilliant.
And it was just a case of like not overthinking it.
Yeah.
Just try things and see what works. And I think,
what did you notice that worked? What did you notice when Steve was like, I see what you're doing as director of that company. I want you to come and work with me and work on the personal brand. Was it him saying, I want you to work on did he say the words, I want you to work on my personal brand, or I just want you to film me talking?
Yeah, there was no like personal brand
name. No.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing.
Yeah. And what we're talking, 2016, are you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 2015, 2016. But he was doing public speaking from like, again, like maybe 2013, 14.
Yeah.
Personal brand wasn't like let's start building your personal brand. He was just good at speaking, and he was doing bits of speaking offline at like events, and it just made sense. Like, right, okay, let's just film some of this stuff and see what happens. There wasn't any thought process to it past that. It was very much just, I think all the best things kind of come that way. Yep. You're not overthinking the process. Whereas now, if you tried to sit down and strategize it probably wouldn't happen in the same way. Yeah. So, yeah.
So how many years were you working on his personal brand before you went up and set up your own company doing personal brands for other people?
Yeah. We started maybe early 2016, and then I left in May 2018.
Okay.
So it was like a 3 year...
2-3
years.
And what made you want to leave?
I remember having a conversation with a friend and just saying, I feel like I'm checking. Yeah. I'm just like phoning this in at the minute. And I know myself too well to know that if I start like getting lazy, it's a dangerous place for me to be. Yeah. And I just knew that not that I didn't care. I cared so much about Social Chain and the people within it. But I just knew that I wasn't in it anymore. Yeah. And I was just turning up and clocking in and clocking out. Yeah. And I felt like I was going a bit stale, which, yeah, it's a dangerous place for me to get to. And I thought I need to kick out of this somehow. So I decided to leave. And I remember I called my mum and she was like, don't do that. She said, Steve's really good. And I was like, it'll be fine, trust me.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Social Chain was...
Was he upset when you left?
Yes, I didn't do it in the way that I should have done it.
Okay.
I should have had a conversation with him, and I didn't. I handed in my notice when he was in the US.
Okay.
And I was in Manchester.
Okay.
And it's probably the only time we've been best friends for 13 years now. And that period from May 2018 for about 2-3 months afterwards, we just didn't speak really.
It's a shame, isn't it? When that happens when business gets in the way of friendship.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of unavoidable if you're in something for so long. And yeah, I think we, like everyone in that Social Chain period, we were all learning and figuring it out. None of us had the answers. Everyone was really young. It was all our first time doing something. And I think the fact that a lot of us have come to the other side of that and we're still friends and able to speak is like testament to being able to work through really difficult situations. Because Social Chain was like a rocket ship of a business. Like I was there for 3-4-ish years. It felt like a lifetime. Like you had a lifetime's worth of experience in the space of 3-4 years. And yeah, those 3 months were the only period where we didn't talk, and we got over it eventually and we spoke.
Good.
But yeah, it wasn't the best ending. What
was going through your mind at the time? You're thinking, I don't want to see him face to face and tell him, oh, he's in America, I better do it now, and hopefully I can just slip away. And
I found having difficult conversations really hard.
Okay.
And I avoided difficult conversation. Yeah, confrontational conversation. Yeah, and it's a thing that, like, building my own thing, you can't avoid doing. Whereas when I was part of somebody else's thing, you can kind of get away with it. Like there was a process, like I could just hand in my notice to somebody and that was all I needed to do. So yeah, it was a bit of a cop out, but I just really struggled with confrontational conversations. And yeah, he's said it to me before as well. Like he's the type of friend who will be honest about the things that you need, like what you're great at, which he always was. Nobody has believed more in me than he did. When I very much didn't believe in myself, he was very vocal of doing it for me. And then the other end as well of like, I think you need to work on this and think about how you can be better at this. And those difficult conversations was something that, he said to me before. So,
and how did you take that?
I've had to learn to, I think immediately my guard goes up with things where I'm being challenged. Even now I see it when, like, I don't know, with the football, something stupid with like Man City, lose a cup final on Saturday. My guard goes straight up. I'm like, hey, leave me alone. So yeah, I've had to, it's a thing of maturing, right? It's like not everything is an attack on you. And sometimes people are just trying to, roundabout way help you out. So yeah, I've had to.
So basically, the key there is not to take it personally and take it on board, as long as you respect that person who's telling you, I guess. Yeah. I've never had
the friendship group that we have, where it's like me, Steve, Don McGregor, and a couple of others, Olav Yonchev, Anthony Logan, and Michael Heaven, and it's a very unique friendship group that we have, and it's the most supportive friendship group and the most challenging friendship group at the same time. And you need those two things to be like the best version of yourself. You need the people that will be like that. And I'd never had people like that around me. Everyone was very soft around me, and everyone was very nice and would never tell me if I wasn't doing something right. And that friendship group has kind of, helped me to soften my immediate guard when somebody confronts me, so to speak.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So transforming from working for someone to then going solo, tell me the mindset that you had to have, and tell me the sort of the highs and lows and the pressures that you've gone through in the 7 years when you launched The Great Influence to where we are today.
I think a lot of the time, being like, if you're a first time founder, you're doing it for the first time and figuring everything out. It can be a bit of a minefield. Whereas I had the fortune of being very close. I wasn't a founder of Social Chain, but Steve and Dom were founders, and they were both my best friends. And I saw near enough everything.
Yeah.
And I think having that as an experience and kind of seeing some of the things that went right and things that didn't go right, it gives you a bit of, I guess, a bit of a directional compass, so to speak, in starting your own thing. But I feel like starting out, you don't even think about any of that stuff. You're just doing. You're just reacting to what is in front of you and trying to do the best that you can with it. And with the business, I was doing it on my own for 2 years. So I was essentially just like a one-man band, which is a million times easier than running a business, because it's only you.
Yeah.
And then in 2020, I decided I'd actually had a conversation with Steve and Dom where it was a really interesting point. Like in 2020, they'd left Social Chain. I'd been doing Great Influence on my own for 2 years, and we had a conversation where all three of us were kind of like searching for our next path. Even though I was doing Great Influence, I was kind of like, I feel like doing it on my own. I'm a bit bored again. Like I was at Social Chain, I could feel myself getting bored. And they said, they were like, just go for it. Just try it. Like, build a team, see what happens. And I decided to do it after that, and then hired Claudia Cardinale, her name is. I met her in September 2020. And I got very, 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 very lucky with the first hire.
Right. She's fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
I know she's sitting next to me right now, but she is fantastic. I can see what she's doing on LinkedIn, and the times we met in Ibiza. You can tell she's the right person. Yeah.
I feel like that the first person that you bring into it is kind of like pivotal to whether the early stages go well or not.
But again, it comes down to hiring the right people, all down to hiring. As an entrepreneur, it's not about the operations. It's finding out who's the best to come and make your team stronger.
Yeah.
And your first hire, who's been with you 5 years?
Yeah.
What did you see in Claudia?
Someone like me.
Yeah.
And not in a business sense.
Better looking version.
Yeah.
On that bit.
Yeah. Cooler. Smarter.
Funny.
Yeah. All the things that I'm not. And what I mean by that is more just as a person. So nothing to do with business. Like, I think at the time, like, she was just a freelance copywriter, and she hadn't sharpened yet.
Yeah.
So that she was at an early stage of what she was trying to do.
So was she post uni or before uni?
Yeah.
Post uni. Okay.
Yeah. And she'd been working, she'd done like an agency for a while. She was working at another startup, and I saw her post on LinkedIn. And I just thought she looked like an interesting person. Yeah. I think that the first couple of hires, like, we had the same thing at Social Chain. The team there, it was very much like it was the people rather than the skill that they had. Yeah. And I think if you're going to work in a small team, it's more about the people than the skills that they've 100%. Got.
Yeah. They can learn that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You need to give them the self-belief to go and learn it.
Yeah. Well, I knew nothing. Like, Steve taught me about personal branding, and I knew nothing about anything when I started working with him. So I kind of had the experience of like, right, okay, you don't need to know something to get started. It's just working with good people who have the right attitude. And I can't really articulate what it was, but it's just something I sat down with Claudia, and it just, some people feel like home. Yeah.
So those first 2 years, this is really important for listeners out there who are setting up their own business. They may be working somewhere and going, I don't like my boss. I feel trapped. This is a nightmare. I've got a great idea. I want to go off by myself. What were those first 2 years like for you? Were you living at home? Were you still having to pay rent? Did you have offices? Did you try to get Stephen on board on a monthly fee? How did it work to get you off the ground?
I kind of, I didn't want to put it on anyone else. So like with Steve, for example, as a friend, it's like I could have lent on him in the first year for like advice and all this kind of thing. And I don't know, I've kind of always had the mentality of like, don't bother people. Like,
Okay.
So yeah, the first year or so, it was just, I just tried to figure it out. And I didn't have any money. And I had $4,000 in my bank account, which, was gifted to me by Steve.
Lovely. What, as a thank you?
Yeah. It was like a bonus kind of thing. When I left, and I had that.
Was that, did he give you that after the 3 months or in between periods?
Okay, it was a bonus for like a project that we'd done kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it just, the timing of it was when I was leaving.
Yeah.
So I had that, and then I thought I've got 6 months. Like $4,000 will last me 6 months. And I thought, right, okay, I've got 6 months to try figure this out. And I got to the end of 2018, and I remember saying to my mum, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I'll give it a few more months. And I moved back home. I moved back in with my parents, and the first few years of the business, I lived with my parents. Yeah.
That's a good move, by the way. Anyone listening out there, if you're setting up your own business, go in and get free rent for as long as you possibly can.
Yeah.
While you're setting up your business, to take the overheads away.
Yeah. And it's not just like the financial, it's like your parents support you in so many different ways. And I was 30, from around 30 to 33
at home.
Yeah. Which I think I don't really think about it. It was nothing to me, but I think people maybe struggle with the idea of that at
100%.
like 30, 31, 32, like going and being at home. But I think I couldn't have done it without doing that, which it's a privileged position to be able to do. And I think if you're in that position where you've got the opportunity to, if you're starting something out, even if it's not business, even just you're starting out something, whether it's
how did you earn your first pound note? Like you said earlier, I couldn't go and sell something for £1. That's not my style. I'm not really a salesperson. Am I a marketing person? To run your own business, to be successful, you've got to be good at sales and marketing. You've got to be a good communicator. You've got to be good at contact list, all these things going on. What was your first money that went into your bank account within that first 2 years of setting up this business?
Yeah. It was actually, one of the things that Steve would say to me is, you're great at sales.
He said that to you? Brilliant. Yeah. So he gave you the confidence of that, even though you didn't believe in yourself?
Yeah. I get what he means now.
Yeah.
Because I saw sales as...
Yeah, knocking on the door.
Yeah. And what he actually meant was, you're really good at selling without selling. You're good at communicating to people and articulating in a way that will convince them to do something. And my approach to it was, I still now, it's probably to detriment, I don't go out with the idea of trying to sell to somebody to try to win the business. I go out first and foremost of like, can I help this person with something that I know? And then if that conversation leads to like, I think we could potentially work with them, it goes into like again, it comes from like a genuine place. Like, I think that I can do something to help you rather than trying to sell to somebody.
It's the best way.
Yeah.
I've got something that you would like. Can we work together?
Yeah.
And then deal with the numbers afterwards if they're on board.
Yeah.
It's nicer, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think those early years, it was just, I just got those first few clients, and or at least I did anyway. It's like, you try to make it as cheap as possible, and what you think is a lot of money, you're asking for, it's actually not to other people, and you learn that over time. But in those early days, it was just, I thought I could help people with what I knew. And I was very fortunate in that, even though I'd done a few years with Steve and we'd achieved a lot in that time, I was still figuring out how to do it in real time. Yeah. So those early people that I worked with kind of took a bit of a chance on me in a sense, even though I'd come from somewhere that had great credibility, I was still figuring it out. It was just a case of doing good work for people. It's still the same now.
Yeah, so just bigger numbers and more people around you.
Yeah.
More overheads.
Yeah, but that the earliest thing that I can remember finance wise with the business, I remember going to meet an accountant, and he did like a forecast for me and looked at what I'd made in the first year or something like that. And he was like, right, okay, you're gonna make £7,000 a month for the rest. And I was like, whoa, my friend, this is very, you're assuming things there. Which kind of speaks to like, I must have had some kind of lack of confidence that.
You didn't think you'd get to 7 a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the number wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
It was just like the fact that this will continue.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're assuming that this is going to keep going. And I maybe had to like build up confidence around that. But yeah.
Can you remember how much you turned over in your first year and your second year? Roughly.
Around, I want to say maybe 80k in the first year.
Okay, so you stayed under the VAT threshold year one.
I think so, yeah. And then around 120, 130 in the second year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, that was when I was on my own.
Good for you. And then the third year, Claudia come along.
Yeah.
And then how much did you have to put Claudia on?
When she first
When
started?
you first started as a student or an ex-student?
21k?
21, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the first people in the team was all around that, 18 to 20k.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what was that like, that first step to hire someone? Because lots of people out there have the fear of hiring. I think hiring's key to growth. But all of us, when you first hire that first person, in your mind, you're just thinking 21 grand. Bloody hell, that's a lot of money. But actually, for what they can do and take stuff off your plate and to grow the business, it probably wasn't a lot, knowing that what the future could hold.
Yeah, I think it was... it's anxiety inducing of like, you've got somebody else. It's less about the money and more that you're responsible for somebody else.
Yeah.
And especially if they're good people, you really don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think the thing is, Cloud was really good. So like straight away clients would be like, she's magic.
Yep.
And that kind of takes the anxiety away from you being like, okay, I feel like
she's going to pay for herself.
Yeah, it's a good move to do this. And I think one of the smart things that I did is that I was very frugal, and I didn't spend money. A friend of mine, we both were doing a similar thing, and he drove a Range Rover. And I bought when I learned to drive, I bought like a £1,000 Mini or something like, I think it was £5,000 for a Mini. Yeah. And I could have got the Range Rover because I was making like 10 grand a month. And I just thought, no, just keep
head down. Stay in your lane. Yeah.
So I managed to build up quite like a good reserve of cash in the business. So that even say that like the first 2 years, if the first year was 80 and the second year was 120, there was probably like 170, 180 still in the business. Like I didn't touch it kind of thing. So when it came to hiring people,
it felt comfortable.
Yeah, you knew you had the buffer of like, even if we lose everything, I can pay somebody for...
You got a wonderful safety net there.
Yeah.
And no one talks about this in business. Like saving is a superpower. But people seem to just like spending. And another superpower as well, everyone's like scale up. There's times in business you've got to scale down as well.
Yeah.
But everyone always talking about scaling up.
Yeah. It's I actually, for the first time last week, I realized the importance of being sat on a good amount of cash in the business. And I've heard stories of it really catching people out where a tax bill comes in and it almost kills them. And it happened at Social Chain early on, where a tax bill came in, and it's like a cash flow problem, especially when you're in agencies and it's like you maybe waiting 90 days to get payments and things like that. And I just completely forgot that we had a corporation tax bill, and it's a huge corporation tax bill. Yeah. And, a lot of money goes out of the account in one day, and you have an expensive month. Yeah. And that happens. Yeah. And it's like, fortunately, I had that thing from early on of like, build up cash in the business rather than take it out and sit on it. And it means that when something like that happens, which I think you're going to have those moments in business where something is a bit,
something pops up.
Yeah, something. I mean, corporation tax it happens every year. You should know the date.
Yeah.
I just didn't think about it. Yeah. But then it's like, oh, it's fine. It's not a problem. Yeah. But I imagine for a lot of, especially if you're early in business, it catches you out cold.
Especially if people are going around going, oh, I'll get that Rangy on tick for $1,000 a month, and I'll get that, and all of a sudden this catches you cold. The key to running a business and building a business is save for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Like you did there, you were stashing away. And that gave you the confidence to then probably grow your business to year 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Who was the next hire after Claudia? How long was Claudia on board for before you went to go get someone else?
A couple of months.
Okay.
And then around December, January, started to bring in 1 or 2 other people.
All full time?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, part time. And then it went full time very quickly.
Yeah. How does your business model work for the listener?
Yeah. So everything's on a retainer.
Yeah.
Clients will just pay us a flat monthly fee.
Yeah. And
if we do a good job, they return the next month. Yeah. And it repeats.
Okay.
So yeah, it's always been like that. It's not like project based or anything.
And
like
is there have they got to give you 3 months notice, a month's notice, 6 months notice, a year's notice? Is there, what would you like? What's the ideal scenario that someone's got to give you notice that they're fully on board?
I don't pay attention to what's in the contract.
Yeah.
If somebody rings, like clients will ring me up and say like, we're just struggling at the minute and we have to cut this. No worries.
Fine. Okay.
All good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All good. And I feel like that kind of thing, it comes back around.
100%.
Where it's like...
Goodwill.
Yeah. The amount of contractual money
that
we've foregone is, it's like, it's a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
Like easily over 6 figures kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's more important to understand that you're dealing with people. And it's like, we're in the business of reputation.
Yeah.
But
that's all we've got. All we've got is our reputation.
Yeah.
That's all we've got as business owners, as entrepreneurs. You know, if you ask 1,000 people about Ash Jones, all you've got is your reputation.
Yeah. I do feel like it's a bit of a double-edged thing though, because I think I've learned that you can put yourself to one side to try to help other people out, and you've got to get the balance of doing that right, where it's like, we now have a business that has the 7 people in the business. We've got our own like financial things that we've committed to and things like that. And you plan for things. And then if something happens and changes, and I think down the years, I've maybe been too like, it's fine, don't worry about it. Like tried to help other people out and been too nice, when really there's a couple of situations where it's like, really, maybe you should have been a bit more
tougher.
Yeah. And it's not, I think the thing that I struggle with is associating toughness with not being nice to people, when really it's just like, no, we agreed to do this, and it's not my fault that it's happened. And yeah, I think there's one of the mistakes that I probably made early is maybe being too nice, a bit of a walkover at times. And you've got to learn it's okay when it's just you and a small team and you've got cash in the bank.
7's a nice number, by the way.
Yeah.
I've got 7. One of my business, I've got 7. I like having small teams.
Yeah.
Anything over 12 just becomes complicated, hierarchy, politics. And it goes up to 15, 16, people are sleeping with each other. It's all chaos. It was all chaos what's going on in there, do you know? I like to keep everything under 10. But that, for the hotspot for me, is always 7.
Yeah.
We
had it was at Social Chain, the initial team was like 10 of us.
Yeah.
And we were all sat round one table.
Yeah.
And I just remember how much I personally got out of that, where everything was round one table and any conversation was had round the table, and the experience of it just really suited me. And it was actually one of the early investors in Spotify, a guy called Shaq. He came into Social Chain and did a talk, and he said that every time your company changes, like 0 to 10 and 10 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 200,
changes massively, doesn't it?
It's an entirely different company.
Yeah.
And some people will be right for the 0 to 10. and they won't be for the 10 to 25.
Because the 10 to 25, the person going to employ the people are getting people who are actually qualified for that job. Where actually the 0 to 10 is you're all working together as friends.
Yeah.
And building.
Yeah.
And then that causes problems. He comes in and starts demanding stuff, and that guy's like, well, I've been here for 7 years. Who are you to tell me that? And then that's when the problem arises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was very much like, at Social Chain, I was built for the 0 to 10.
Yeah.
I was not built for the 10 to 25. Yeah. And it's a little different at Great Influence in that my opinion on it is that I want everyone to be really good at what they do. And I've always had the idea of like small team that are really competent with a small client base. Like we've turned down working with so many people because we kind of want a small.
Yes.
And it's very personal. Like you'll know how personal business can be. And the minute that it starts getting, you got too many clients, too many team members, you lose the personal element to it. And yeah, that personal relationship, especially in the line of work that we do, where it's somebody's individual reputation, you have to have a very personal relationship with them. And the minute that the business gets too big, you
lose that. Especially the person paying you is like, Ash, I can't get hold of you today. What was it? When normally I'd get hold of you anytime send you a WhatsApp or whatever.
Yeah.
Tell me some of the clients you're working, or tell me some of the clients you've worked with over the 7 years.
So a lot of founders of like agencies, startups, scale-ups, I guess notable ones, Julian Hearn of Fuel, we worked with founder of Grenade for a short while, My Protein.
Who's My Protein?
Oliver Cookson.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still working with Oliver?
No.
Okay.
No. But unbelievable story. He lived around the corner from me.
So he's a Manchester lad.
Yeah.
Ridiculous 500 million or something. Is that right? Or is that?
Yeah. £500 to 500 million.
He had 100% shares in that.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Yeah. And he
I got an email yesterday. Was that the guy who emailed through yesterday said he wants to come on? Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. He grew up in Wythenshawe, which I'm from Salemore, which is just around the corner.
Okay.
So yeah. Who else?
That's some story. Just hold the 500. He sold out for 500 million. He owned 100% shares. And this was on a protein powder brand.
Yeah.
When protein powders was quite new to the market, I guess. And someone just snapped him up and said,
yeah, very much so. Yeah. But it was like a lot of great businesses. It came from a personal problem.
Yes.
And then you built a business off the back of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should have Oliver on.
Good lad.
Interesting story. Yeah, he's a Man City fan as well.
He's a City fan, is he?
Yeah. So I'll always
But it's back him.
Yeah, for sure. Who else? Matthew Syed. He's a best-selling author. Had multiple best-selling books. John Amici, we've been working with for the past 4 or 5 years now, and he's one of the most intelligent people he is the most intelligent person I've ever met in my life.
What, book clever or street clever or book clever? Okay.
Yeah, book clever. Just his way with words is unbelievable.
What does he do?
He was the first British NBA player.
Okay.
He's from Manchester as well. And first British NBA player, first publicly out NBA player.
First publicly out? What does that mean?
Like came out as gay.
Oh, he came out as gay? Okay.
Yeah. First NBA player to do so. And now he's an organizational psychologist. So he went from MBA to psychology.
Okay.
And yeah, he's an incredible, incredible man.
Where's he from?
Originally from Stockport in Manchester.
So he's gone from Stockport to MBA, basketball, then come out as gay, and then come back, and he's got an organizational psychologist.
Yeah, organizational psychologist. They work with a lot of global companies on leadership and transformation and change.
Interesting guy.
Very, yeah. And again, he's got like best-selling book author. And then, but the highest profile person we work with is Gary Neville, and been working with him for 4 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though he's a red?
Yeah. We had to iron a few things out at first. No, I was, when I actually met him for the first time, I was like a fan of his.
Yes.
In that I'd watched every interview that he'd done on YouTube, and I just loved his like take on football. And as a broadcaster, as a player, him and his team inflicted great pain on me.
On a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, but
what he's done off the pitch is pretty remarkable. Like, does the bloke sleep? Like I see him on 3 podcasts, then I see him on Sky Sports, then I see him running his businesses, then I'm seeing him doing Relentless Group, then I'm seeing hotels, and I'm seeing, like, I think is he got like
Yeah, he's
juggling a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that group of players
Yeah.
from under Alex Ferguson, Sir Alex Ferguson, apologies. The mentality of that group of players was, I think, they achieved great things for a reason.
Yeah.
But from my knowledge, not many of those players are like, maybe, I guess, David Beckham.
Business minded.
Yeah. And I think Gary from early on was very interested in business.
Yeah.
And
you can see that, though.
Yeah.
You sense that.
He built different.
Yeah.
I've met only 2 people really that are like, well, him and Steve are the only 2 people that I've really met and I've spent time with to get to know them well enough, where I'm like, there's just something different about them in how they work and how they want to build. So yeah, they're a bit of a rarity, I think. And yeah, it comes from his dad. If you listen to him speak, that work ethic comes from his dad. So it's very much like in him.
Well, they're a family of achievers. That's what they are.
The family is unbelievable.
Like the 2 lads playing for Man United and England.
Mm-hmm.
The sister playing for the Roses of netball, captain.
Yep.
And he's gone on to do the businesses. Like,
yeah.
What did the old man do? What did the dad and mum do? Are they representative at sport somewhere?
Yeah, they were both involved heavily within sport. And like even now, his mum, Jill, still plays netball.
Okay.
Still plays netball now.
Does she?
Yeah.
We should get her down to the Bournemouth Sevens.
Yeah, you should.
Come on, Jill, if you're out there, let's get you down.
Yeah.
It's actually this weekend.
Yeah, so yeah, they're a relentless family, I guess. It runs in the family. But yeah, he's got so much going on. And a very... Yeah, obviously I spent so long under Steve and I've been his friend for a long time and he teaches me a lot that I take on board. And Gary has been somebody, again, who I've had the fortune of spending a lot of time with, and I've learned so much.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing that I found about running a business is it's actually a hack for your own life. If you work with the right people in business. Because of the line of work I do, I get to be involved with people who are great at achieving things. And it's kind of like a knock-on effect. You see firsthand why they're so good at achieving things. And yeah, I'm very much somebody who like takes influence from other people to help me build my own way of operating, so to speak. So yeah, Gary has been one of those people in my life where it's just...
So when you first met Gary, he obviously knew what you did. How's that relationship been over the last 4 years? And what actually do you do for him?
A lot of it is he's got a really clear idea of what he wants to do. And the first time we sat down, he said, I want my career to look like this in the future. He had a very clear idea of where he was going. And everything has been about trying to, like, what are the steps to getting there that need to happen? Whether that's within his broadcasting career or whether that's within, like, the businesses that he runs. Like, how do you get to this point? And a lot of what I do is... it's supporting. I say supporting because there's some people that we work with where we're leading them. Yeah. But with somebody like that, they are leading everyone. Yeah. And Steve was the same. And it's like a really good visionary mind. They know what they want. They know how to get there. They just need the right people around them to help make it possible. And that's very much like my role and the other people that work with Gary. You see, like, it's a team that's coming together that has a clear idea of what it's trying to do and what it needs to do to make those things happen. So yeah, he's got such a huge profile now where it's like he's in the press every single day. He's social media following of over like 10 million followers. He's on TV all the time. There's so much going on in his world, and it's about trying to think, based on what he wants to achieve in his career and what he's got going on now, what do you do and what do you not do? Like, how do you position somebody, and what do you need to be like mindful of how they're coming across and being perceived? And it's not in the way of like managing perceptions to try to like make people think that, or try to control what somebody says or anything like that. It's very much like the career steps that person is trying to achieve, and based on what those career steps are, they need to do certain things and position themselves in a certain way so that people get that idea of them, and it helps them open the next door and the next door and the next door. So yeah, it's very much a lot of that kind of thinking. When somebody's got so much going on, it's like, how does all that come together?
Do you have to rein him in at all? Or does he know what he wants? Do you have control over any of his LinkedIn account or his Instagram account or any of his accounts that you can actually write stuff on his behalf?
I don't ever write stuff on everything, and I'm very like insistent on this with everyone that we work with. I can't say it for you. Yeah. Because if I say it for you,
it won't come across in the right way.
It's not you.
Yeah.
And instead it's about like helping them to be able to get the right things out. Like, you're drawing things out of them at times. You're helping them understand what they need to talk about in this moment.
So it's more strategy, is it?
Yeah, very much so. Okay. Especially when somebody is at that level of profile. Yeah. And the thing with, like, Gary's so good at being Gary. Yeah. And the best people in what I do are really good at being themselves. So you don't have to do that for them. It's instead your job just to try to like shape and know when to do certain things and when not, and others like. So yeah, it's very like strategical and tactical. But it's also like the best people are also really collaborative. Like, it's not a hand this off to Ash and great influence and off they go. Yeah. It's very much like together, what do we think? And we have an open conversation around it, and somebody's idea might be better than the other. And
how important is a personal brand today?
I think it's becoming a lot more important when you think about the way that the world is going with AI and things like that, which has kind of come out of nowhere. Not that AI wasn't a thing before, but I think the last 6 months has made it a bit of a pressing conversation in a way that it wasn't before. And you're now in the early stages of seeing how a personal brand will be important in the future, in that if I can, like, if I'm applying for a job, I just click a button and it writes everything. Yeah. It does the CV for me. It does the cover letter. Like, so I'm thinking as an employer when I'm looking at people's profiles as well, it's like, it's so easy to apply for a job now, and the job market is very crowded. So say there's 1,000 people applying for a job. How do you stand out from 1,000 people, where AI can help 1,000 people be the best version of themselves to try to win the job? Yeah. And I think that's where the idea of like a personal brand comes in for me. It's not just something where it's like founders and CEOs and entrepreneurs. There's the case for that. There always has been. There's always been a thing of like the spokesperson for the business. It's just been accelerated because of social media. It's now easier to do, and you can control it, which is very compelling to people in business. We can control the narrative, whereas usually the narrative, especially if you're in large businesses, the narrative can be controlled by the media, which is what businesses don't want. So yeah, I think in the future, the idea of a personal brand, or just understanding how to stand yourself out from others and almost like curate yourself.
Have you noticed all the clever people on LinkedIn and Instagram building their own personal brand?
Yeah. I mean, it's very much a modern thing, I think. And you're living proof, right? Like, how important you've been in business a long time, and you've probably been doing the personal brand side of it more recently.
Yes.
What's been the difference between the before and after? Not on you, but like the impact for you and the business ventures that you run in a business sense.
Huge doors opening everywhere, like literally doors opening everywhere. But you have to be yourself. I never liked those words when we first spoke of personal branding. Like, you just have to be yourself and put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And so people can see your character. But you have to then intertwine stories into your character, talking about business if you are on LinkedIn, or just being real and putting some family stuff up there, but mentioning about business. And people buy into characters. People buy into people. People love people, right? I've seen so many opportunities since I've done the personal brand. There's been so many doors opened. It's been ridiculous to be the co-host of the Harry Redknapp show. And that was like 4 years ago. I was only in it for a year doing the personal brand, or 6 months, and then doing the podcast as part of the personal brand.
Yeah.
That's blown up. And then you see things blowing up on LinkedIn and Instagram and those sort of channels as well. But I can't speak highly enough of it.
I think there's two things. One is like people have a problem with the word personal brand.
Yes.
Which is entirely understandable, as it comes across as maybe a bit like egotistical,
Yes.
which a lot of people doing it aren't doing it for the ego.
Yeah.
They're doing it for a reason to help support things that they're trying to achieve.
Agree. Which is normally business.
Yeah. So the term immediately puts people off.
Yes.
And then the other thing is that people don't think about the knock-on effect of doing it. They just think about doing it. So they think about like, oh, I've got to like create content and post online and do all these things. And that's all they're thinking about. They're not thinking about like, oh, this door will open up, or they're not thinking about the knock-on effect.
Yeah.
And I've like seen it firsthand with so many people where it's like, don't look at the public facing things. So take somebody like Steve, for example. Don't look at what he's doing. Look at what the impact of what he's doing is having on him and the business ventures that he runs, and the opportunity that is coming as a result of doing those things. Like, he got onto Dragon's Den, and if people like, for him to get onto Dragon's Den from where he came from is an unbelievable thing. And it's because of that whole idea of like, put yourself out there, tell your story, create content, however you want to put it.
Show your personality.
Yeah.
But what it does, it came back opening doors. There's so many opportunities coming your way. If people understood the power of this, because at first I was like, not sure about this, not sure. But there are doors opening every day. People coming in on Instagram, people coming on LinkedIn, people emailing through. Do you want to be part of this business? Can you open this door? Can you do this? We'd like you on this show. We'd like you to do this. It's never ending.
Yeah. Why were you not sure? You said, not sure.
That's a fantastic question. Because I was always building company brands, I was always the person behind the company brand. As soon as I put myself in front of the company brand, I went, this is me, and this is who you're going to be buying off if you're going to buy festival tickets, or you're going to buy, or whatever it is, or your business. It's just made it so much easier.
There we go.
It's as simple as that.
But why you say at first I was a bit like,
Because I had that connotation of, people are going to think that you're just posting because you want to just put yourself out there. I'm posting because doors are opening.
Yeah.
Opportunities are coming my way. You do a post, an opportunity, something slips in. Someone said, I've been watching you or looking at you, watching you for 3-4 years. Here's an opportunity. Would you like to come and have a chat? Oh my God. Wow. Thank you, mate. Or it just, or you walk down the street and someone clocks you and goes, oh mate, I've got this idea. What are your thoughts? And like, it's never ending.
Yeah. But that thing that you say there about like, I didn't want to be the face of it, and people think who Steve said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So there's a great clip of him on the podcast, and he's saying like, when we first started doing it, I mean, doing YouTube and all this kind of stuff, he almost didn't do it because his issue was people are going to think, who does he think he is?
Who do you think he is? Yeah.
And he said that almost stopped him from doing it.
And I think 99.9% of people will think that.
Yeah.
But if you can break that and just be you and write from the heart with a photo or a video and just be you, you can't hide anything.
Yeah.
You're not, as long as you can back stuff up, that you are the real deal.
Yeah. I think this is a problem as well.
Yeah.
Where it's like a lot of people are trying to portray something that they're not.
And I've seen that. I've seen that a lot. And we were chatting in the car on the way here. How many people have you seen on Instagram portraying something they are not? Mm-hmm. Buying all these followers from Asia, And then you go and look on, we're saying, how do you spot someone who's blagging it? They might have 75,000, 100,000 or whatever. And then you see their reels and the reel says 900 views.
Yeah.
And okay, well, straight away, that person's bought all of them from a foreign country.
Yeah.
Or you see on, there's lots of ways to see, isn't there? And
the issue is that, in the world of business, it's fine to do that if you're in the world of like being an Instagram influencer. But in business, your reputation,
you get found out,
is everything.
Yeah.
And the people at the upper levels of business can spot it a mile off.
Agree.
And what you end up doing is you convince the people that aren't crucial, and they follow you. But the people that are crucial see right through it.
100%.
That's
business. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah. You can kid the people that don't really matter, but the people that really matter, you can't kid. You can't kid a kidder.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's like, it has to, authenticity, it's like a bit of a cheesy word.
I can't stand that word, by the way.
Yeah.
When I hear someone use that word, I think, are you real? Just be real.
Yeah, it's just being...
Just be real and be you, and life becomes...
Be honest.
Just be straight.
Yeah.
And say it how it is. But I also understand people who are employed, Ash, like if you're employed, you can't go and write really how you feel if you go and work for a bank or work for JP Morgan or work for someone. You can't really go and on LinkedIn. But the owners of those businesses that are cool with their people working for them writing it, their business will just blossom.
Yeah.
More people know about it. More people find out about the culture. More people have realised that you're a good boss and you're good with people. The knock-on effects are huge. And I know business owners who won't allow people to write their thoughts on LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, it's backwards to me. It's not progressive.
Yes.
And yeah, we're getting to a point now where businesses need to be progressive with things and understand that now people are going to be posting online and they're going to be doing their own thing, and you've got to bring them on side with it. You can't create a barrier or some kind of like try to control what people are doing. And it's the thing that I've struggled with is like, I'm from a culture in business. I worked in a business before this one and I've started this one, and the culture is very similar, and the clients that I work with have similar cultures in their businesses.
You attract what you want to attract.
Yeah. And it's just like the people aren't trying to control people. There's not much politics. Like everyone's very nice and personable. And if a difficult conversation needs to be had, it's had. There's respect there. Like that's the world that I've always been around. Yeah. So when I see the opposite of that, I can't quite wrap my head around it.
Same.
Yeah.
Also, we were talking about podcasting, like the metrics on podcasting. Entry to podcasting is really cheap, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of research. It takes a lot of your time of being a podcaster. But there's also this sort of front that no one knows how well that podcast is doing or not.
Yeah.
How would you tell if a podcast is doing well or not?
Have you heard of it? Like, has somebody mentioned it to you? And it's, you can, the problem is online now, you can fake so much.
But I can spot a fake a mile off.
Yeah. Like, it's what I mean. I think
we're in it, the game. You can spot a fake who's bullshitting and who's not, who's pretending to be someone they're not.
Yeah. And I think, again, it's like within business, you need to remember that this is within business and your reputation is everything. And over decades, you can't hide the truth. Yeah. You can hide the truth for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, maybe, but eventually it comes out. Yeah. And I think too many people aren't thinking the longest term with their personal reputation and the reputation of the things that they build and their reputation with the people around them. Yeah. And I think that a lot of it is naturally people will do things in business to try to get ahead or give themselves a competitive edge. And I think that's a very understandable and reasonable thing to do. But I think the line is being heavily blurred now, especially with social media, where you can game so much that doesn't really exist.
But you said like 5 years. I think people can get found out in 6 months now. I think people are getting really wise to this. I reckon 4 years ago, people weren't as wise, but I think people are getting really wise to see who's the real deal or who's not. And when you see a real deal person, doesn't it make you go, oh, that's nice?
Yeah. Well,
fair play to them.
Certain people will stand the test of time and others won't.
Yeah.
And I always think of it like I have confidence that I'll still be here in a decade helping people. And I think in that decade, I'm not going to be perfect, but I think people will go, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I think if you can do that, that's like the trick to it.
That's the key, isn't it?
It's not trying, like the short-termism, it's just not worth it in business. Yeah. And again, it goes back to that point of like, maybe I've been too nice at times and having to learn the balance between the two.
Yeah.
But it always comes from a point of view of like, reputation is everything. And in 10, 20, 30 years, I want to be able to lean on people and people be able to lean on me. And yeah, it's been a difficult thing for me to wrap my head around in business. Is like, there's just some people that aren't good.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it is. And some people are in it.
But do you think that's why there's such a high percentage, a high rate of people failing as entrepreneurs?
There's a lot of good people too, and things just don't work out. But yeah, I think it's not good. Like people in it for themselves or in it for the wrong reasons, or that. I've had to struggle with wrapping my head around it at times. And none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes.
Absolutely.
We all get things wrong.
Absolutely.
We all could have treated people better in certain situations and had conversations at certain times that we maybe didn't. But yeah, I've encountered some people along the line. It's just like, how do you operate for so long when you're not.
You've been blagging it.
Yeah, essentially. But I think long term, you
know, it's interesting in business as well. Like breaking the back of a business. I always talk about the 1,000-day rule. If you can break the back of a business 1,000 day, that is phenomenal. But you're looking at 5 years, 7 years. You know, sometimes 5 years to break the back and break even.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I go into business now just long term. Like the festival now, Bournemouth 7 is going on 18 years. You know, I've built a moat around my business. You know, you've got to do anything you can to protect that. And what happens is the competition comes in, they punch you, they kick you, they try to do whatever you do. You are there protecting your business like it's your baby, which it is, like a diamond.
Yeah.
You know, it's, business isn't easy though. If you're not used to business and you have worked for someone and you go and set up by yourself, you're in for a shock.
Yeah, it's the single greatest life. I've not had a child, but for me, like my life is insanely different from how it was before. It changed as a person, kind of thing. And I think that you have no idea how it's going to change you, and it comes with an undercurrent of anxiety and some kind of like low level stress at all times, and you have to learn to like build the right characteristics to be able to operate like that, where every day is kind of like an unknown. Yeah. And the things that you deal with and the uncertainty and the anxiety that comes with it, especially if you're an anxious person. Yeah. Like I'm an anxious person.
Okay.
So, and business is like pouring gasoline on that. Yeah. Some people are very like cool, calm, collected, never really been anxious people, and just, you know, it's easier for them. But if you're of an anxious disposition, business is, it's like gasoline on the fire kind of thing.
And it's 24/7. And you're waking up thinking about it, and you're going to bed thinking about it, and you're thinking about paying all your staff, and you're thinking about, is the income coming in, and you're thinking about the taxes going up, and you're thinking about the entrepreneur's tax going up, the employer's tax going up. You know, all these things you've been thrown at constantly. And then you're thinking, what's left at the bottom line? Are we working on a 10% net profit?
Yeah.
You know, we're working on 5% net profit. You're working on 3%. Most businesses lose money.
Yeah.
You know, most businesses get themselves in serious trouble. They lose money. They get in debt. But they've got such pride in the way, and the ego gets in the way. They don't want to go, well, let's give it another year. They might end up being 100 grand in debt, then 150. When's the point where you go, I've got to hand my notice. I've got to stop this business.
Yeah. I think again, like my privilege is coming from a culture where quitting at the right time was encouraged.
Yeah.
And it's something like Steve spoke about in his journey. Like when we did that first business he was doing, Wall Park, he knew when to quit.
Yeah.
And me and Dom were working on it with him at the same time. And it was like, okay, well, if you're stopping, we stop. Yeah. And he's had a thing of like culturally knowing when the right time is. Like, it's not an embarrassing thing to quit.
It's a good sign of an entrepreneur when you know when you're into something, then you know when enough's enough, and you can step away and go, this is a good time because I could get myself in proper trouble here. If I hold on to this for another couple of years, I could lose another 100 grand or 200 grand. There's a good time to walk away.
Yeah.
But that's a sign of a good entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people think it is quitting, it is failure.
I guess it's the personal thing, isn't it? It's like to publicly fail is a very challenging thing for people to accept. And I imagine it's not an easy thing to go through. Seen people recently where it's like very publicly having to shut down companies and liquidate them and things like that. And I can't imagine being on the other side of that, where you're the person, the founder that's, having to go through that. And
we could go into the whole VC thing. I've never borrowed any money in the last, all my businesses for the last 27 years as a proper adult. But if you're caught up in a VC thing and you're chained like that, and the pressure's on you. People think, I see people celebrating on you LinkedIn. We just raised 2 million quid, 3 million quid. Mate, they are going to squeeze you for every bit of an ounce of blood to make sure this business model works. You don't even know whether this business model's actually working. You've got in for VC money early doors.
Yeah.
You're hiring like it's fun. Yeah, hire that. Let's get the nice offices. When you work something, you bootstrap it. Like you were saying earlier, and what we've done over the years is that you go, I can't afford that yet. Okay, we'll employ that one person. Let's hold back. Let's hold tight. Then we go again. Then you build that for 5, 6, 7 years. Then if you really need backing to take it to the next level, then go and get your backing. But you've proved that business has worked.
Yeah.
I find it very odd to see all this massive celebration of businesses that haven't been proved receiving all this money, and VCs who are there never running, half of them, a high percentage of them never run their own businesses. They're just going on number crunching. I find that whole, there's a whole, we could speak on a whole.
There's two things that I've learned from other people in business.
Yeah.
And one is I've never seen anyone having a good time when they've got a big team.
Yes, agree.
And then the other is I've never known anyone to speak positively of investment and having investors.
Yes.
It's always the opposite.
Yeah.
And also something that they never saw coming. And the smartest people that I know never saw certain situations coming that came, which kind of it's like a thing I look to and I'm like, if we were to ever, like, I've turned down a couple of investment offers, and if something serious was to ever come onto the table, I'd have that in my head of being like, what you think is going to happen? Yeah. The opposite, way smarter people than you thought this was going to be one way, and it turned out to be a very different. So just keep that in mind.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Before we finish up here, that journey to where you are today, are you in the best possible position you've been in your 7 years of great influence as we sit today?
Personally or professionally?
Personally.
Personally. Yes. Yeah. I've got to a point where I think I was maybe lacking in the confidence of what I was able to achieve.
Or how good you were.
Yeah. And over the last 6 months especially, something is just...
Yeah.
And I have the confidence in myself that other people saw in me. I've actually got it in myself now. Amazing. And I think once you've got that, it can become a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Like if the founder doesn't have it, it's very hard for the rest of the team to have it.
Absolutely. If you don't believe in yourself, how are the other people who are on the journey with you going to believe in themselves or believe in you?
Yeah. And you can't fake it. Yeah. You can't say it.
Yeah.
Because people feel it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
until you feel it in yourself.
And that's that's how you feel today.
Yeah. I'm getting to a point where I will publicly say I think I'm good at what I do, which it doesn't come from a place of arrogance. It's taken me 7 years of downplaying myself because I didn't believe that I was good at what I did.
I can tell you are brilliant at what you do.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're absolutely brilliant at what you do. And to see that confidence in you over the last 6 months, when even in Ibiza, I could see you sort of brewing up there. Like, when was that? That was...
Yeah, it was last summer.
That was last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I see saying, yeah. How you are today is a lovely position to be in.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Getting there. Yeah, getting there. I think when I started the business, I was happy because you're happy-go-lucky. And then I started the business when I was 30 and now I'm 37. It's like you mature in that time as well. You start to become an adult for the first time. And yeah, in the last year, I've only had like mature situations that I've gone through for the first time where I've been like, okay, this is life. Yeah. This is how life unfolds. And I think the last 3-4 years, I had so much going on and I was developing and figuring things out that it's difficult to, not that I wasn't happy, but I think you're just not even thinking about yourself. You're just doing everything else. So yeah, I'd say like, I'm starting to get there where I'm like, it's less happy. I'm just so grateful.
Yeah.
And I've never been grateful. Not that I've not been grateful, do you know, I've just not realized it.
Yeah.
And now the people that I'm around and what I get to work on and the fact that I get to get up in the morning and do something that I find interesting, like, yeah, I have so much gratitude that I didn't have knowingly a year ago. And I think the last year has just really taught me how very, 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 very lucky I am. And I think that's like, happiness is up and down.
Yeah.
Some days, on Saturday I was sad because City lost the cup final. Last night I was happy because United lost one. Yeah. So happiness and sadness is up and down. But I think, like, am I grateful and excited about the future of what I'm doing and what I have in store? Like, yeah, I've never been in a better position in my life, and it's because of everyone around me and everyone that's been around me in the past 12, 13 years. And it's not about me either, it's about everyone else. So yeah, I'm ready for what's to come.
Mate, amazing. Mate, I've really, really enjoyed this.
Likewise.
Thank you for your honesty.
Thank you so much for having me on.
My pleasure. You're a gentleman. Good man, Ash. Cheers, mate. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. That was really good.
I
really enjoyed that. Well done.
Really good.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you'd like to see someone on the show, leave a comment below. And if you haven't already, do us a favour, show us a bit of love, press the subscribe button, and it allows us to grow the show even bigger and bigger each week. Nice one.